Well, I'm happy to report this week I don't need none y'all help. None y'all help. Yeah, it's my southern accent. You like it? Come on, you loved it, right? None y'all. None y'all. I don't even know if that's a real word. Honest. Ladies and gentlemen, miscreants, mollifiers, people of all walks of life, I guess. I'll allow the dead too. If you're dead, you're allowed to watch too. I don't mind it. I don't mind the dead. I'm not scared of the dead. Come, talk. Listen to me. Comment if you're a dead person. Let me know you're dead in the comments. And then let me know what was your favorite book alive. And if you still feel like that when you're dead, are you still allowed to read when you're dead? What's going on? Let me hear from you. Shout out to the dads. Shout out to the dads. Hey, that little shiny there, I don't care. I love how it looks like. I just look. Let me see that. Okay, I'm happy. I'm happy with this. I like the lighting here. It's a little. Look there. If I do this, I get a shadow over here. Because I gotta go light over there. Because who cares? Listen, nobody came me for this. First of all, let me introduce myself. I am, of course, the anonymous librarian. You can call me Al. If you don't call me at all, I'm really good at that. Like, subscribe, notifications, put on, just play it in the background. You don't have to watch if you don't want to watch. I don't need that. I just need your time. The video time, what do you call it? The video watch hours. But you should stay, because I'm here to help you. I'm here to teach you something. Now, if you're thinking I'm talking fast today, I'm talking erratic, I'm crazy. I'm not on drugs. This is not talking, okay? Am I allowed to say that? Am I going to get flagged for saying a drug name? This is caffeine. I had a nice fat dose of caffeine. I'm taking a nice fat dose right now. It's caffeine, and maybe do you get endorphins from walking, from hiking? Because I went hiking with my dog, and now I feel great. And now let me get some. Let me pretend that I'm like a professional, successful booktuber and drink it. Oh, that's good. It is actually good, man. It's like Nescafe cappuccino, like the instant shit. I'm getting some crazy stuff. No. Alright. So last week I did the set in stone for the fantasy, and also the ones I'm like thinking about and what. And the sci-fi, of course. There was some sci-fi in there sprinkled in between. This week I'm doing non-fiction, mundane fiction, and classics. And guess what? Unlike last week, I don't need your help. Remember what I said? I don't need your help. These ones are all set in stone. There is nothing I need you for. Isn't that exciting? So you can just listen to me and not comment. Or if you want to comment, you can comment cry emojis. Hey, why don't you need us anymore? We're sad. I know you're sad. You're going to pretend like we don't care. I know you're sad. I mean, pretend you're not sad. I mean, you want to talk to me. I know it. I mean, look at it. Look at this. This is how I feel. I literally have a grumpy shit on because that's how you guys make me feel. You make me grumpy. I'm actually a nice guy. I'm actually a really nice guy. Ask anybody who knows me. The 5 people I see during like the year. Yeah, I see about around 5 people I walk by. And I'm like, hey, how? And they say, hey, how are you? It's all good. Listen, nobody's saying. So okay, let's get on to this. Let's stop with the intro. I think we're over this now. Let us get into some serious business. I need to educate you guys. I need to show you what I'm gonna be using to educate you guys this year. What is it that's set in stone? Now, first, all of you want to go to the classics and then mundane fiction. I know that. That's what gets you excited. But first, we're gonna eat our vegetables. We are gonna eat our vegetables, right? And we're gonna do non-fiction first. Now, if you really can't stand it and it bores you, I don't mind you skipping to the mundane fiction or the classics. And if you just say like, oh, it doesn't show. I do put time codes on these videos. I promise, I tell you, if it doesn't show up, you think, I don't know why it doesn't show up on the video. Just go to the description. There are time codes. Just click on it there. It's like blue and shit. You just click on it. Boom. You go to where you want to go. And you can skip the other stuff because, I know, I mean, trying to get you guys to eat your vegetables, it's like, and this is nice vegetables, right? This is like the broccoli, like the steamed broccoli. Delicious. This ain't the pumpkin. Nobody likes pumpkin. I don't like pumpkin. Maybe you like pumpkin because you're weird. Weird people like pumpkin. I'm telling you, there's something off for people that enjoy pumpkin. Pumpkin and like cooked beans. Fried beans maybe, but cooked beans, Yeah. Broccoli. That's where it's at. Broccoli, raw cucumber, just cut a piece of cucumber like that, eat it. It's nothing better. Nothing better. Maybe I'm exposing some stuff about myself now that you guys don't need to know. Let's go. All right, let's get to the nonfiction. Let's get to it. So, are you ready for this? Are you ready? Am I ready? Look at me, I'm ready. Let me take another sip of coffee. Yeah. And just to show you that I am a rogue, I'm taking a sip of water as well. Oh yeah. Should have taken the water before the coffee. Yeah, that was a mistake. Always take the water before the coffee. Remember that? Let me. Come on, look how nice my eyes look today, huh? I actually look happy. Can you believe it? I'm looking happy. Even when I'm talking to you. That's how good life is right now. Is life good right now? I'm going to assume it's good right now. Yeah. I mean, it's good for me in this room. I'm sure I did read some news this morning. And, it's not good for everybody. I'm sorry if it's not good for you. And I do actually mean that, yeah. But if it's good for you, like it. I'm glad it's good for you. It feels good for me right now. Okay, let's get into it. The non-fictions. This is important stuff. Listen up, y'all. Okay, I'm gonna say, I don't know why I'm doing the American thing. I think I watched too many American videos on YouTube. Now I want to go. Now every fifth word I'm gonna try to listen up, y'all. Listen up, y'all. Okay, let's leave it now. I blame. I don't know. I don't even know who I blame for that. I don't think there's really that many. I don't know. I've lost my train of thought. It wasn't important. If it went away, it means it wasn't important. So, okay. The first, let me do this first. I have here quite a few. I'm gonna start with the non-fictions about South African history, and then I'll go into the rest. So let's start with our not so nice vegetables, and go to our nicer vegetables, God. Because I know you guys. I mean, you're probably sitting. I don't know where. Beverly Hills, Dubai, Montana, Perth. You're in Perth, aren't you? I don't like Australians. I don't hate Australians either. Australians are cool. One of my friends has to get like a visa right now to go to Australia for a thing, and oh wow, you guys are stingy and angry and annoying about that stuff, right? Okay. I'm not gonna blame. There's some nice people that came out of Australia. I'm sure. Isn't there good actors? I don't know. Is there a difference between Australia and New Zealand? Yes, there is. The one is smaller than the other one, right? One's continent, the other one's island. That's the difference, right? I'm gonna assume that's the only difference. If people are wondering why I'm coming for New Zealand and Australia out of nowhere, it's because there are rivals in the rugby, right? I can't be nice to them. They are our enemies in the championship rugby, whatever they call it these days. It used to be Tri-Nations, and then they go to Argentina. Now Argentina I like, even though they are enemies, I like them. They're cool enemies. New Zealand, Australia, you are good enemies, but you're not cool. I will not accept that you're cool. Never. Finally, let's start the video with the non-fiction books. I'm sorry, that took way too long. Okay, the first non-fiction from South African history. Hollywood on the Veld. I hope this is not being too shiny. By Ted Botha, and when movie mayhem gripped the city of gold. Yeah, so it plays off mostly in Johannesburg, mostly in the early 20th century. There was this guy, and it was still in the silent movie era. I think it went a little bit to the talkies. They just started making crazy big budget movies in South Africa, and yeah, it was and at that time it was Let me go water again. These movies were equal to those that were getting made in like the whole world. This was really like a little. That's why it called Hollywood on the Veld. It was that good. Last year I read Ted Botha's Daisy the Melker, hiding amongst killers in the city of gold. That's what it was. True crime. That one was more true crime. Really enjoyed that. I love, and if you go, we get it later too, you will realize I do actually love film a lot. So I'm excited. It's my nails dirty. I need to cut them. Okay, let's leave that alone. Hollywood on the Veld. Ted Botha. Yeah, it's a bit shiny there, but I still like how it looks. It's popping. That one last year, it read like a breeze and was so informative and fun, and I'm expecting the same from this. And I know a little bit about this. I did study a bit of this, so I am very excited to go a bit more in depth with this. Next, another South African one, and this is a guy you will often see things about it I read. I've read a lot about him. I'm going to read a lot more about him in the future. This is Under Smith's Rule by Obongi. When the surnames get long there, Nkuluanga. I'm pretty sure. You know what? I'm pretty sure I said that right. Nkuluanga. I'm good with South African names, but when it's like African names that's not from South Africa, I get whoa. The Bongani is 100%. I said Bonga. I've said his name right for sure. Okay, Under Smith's Rule. Okay, and this is Jan Smith and his impact on Black South Africans. So Jan Smith was he was influential in South African politics in the early 20th century, even in the late 19th century. He was Prime Minister twice of South Africa, or the Union of South Africa. This is before like the official apartheid era started. This is like pre-apartheid, but some of the things being set in stone. What's interesting about this is a part of Smith's history that's usually overshadowed or not talking about. They usually jump like in it's the Boer War stuff in his early days. Then they go to like the union itself being formed. Then they go to what he did in World War One, and then he goes to what he did in World War Two. He was really people of the world, like, and it was with the start of the League of Nations and the United Nations. But none of their books, and I've read quite a few, really delve a lot into his relationship with the leaders of the Black South African communities. And even Black South Africans in general, what he did for them, what he didn't do for them. It is generally accepted that he didn't do a lot, and when he wanted to do something, it was already too late. But like to have the actual, but nobody ever goes into detail in the books. Like, and then Bongani, the guy, I actually went to a signing of this. I have a sign. You will be able to see that. Yeah, now that light shows. There. If I get a little shadow, I actually got it signed by the author. I went to launch for this book. So I was so excited about it when I saw they have a launch, and I was excited about it. Got it because he was the same. He's like in part of the Smiths Institute and everything. So they have conferences about the history and the influence of Jan Smith. This is something I really wanted to know more about, and he said that thing that I was also like, this is one part that you don't really read about. Like even there's a massacre of black people that happened under Smith's tenure. That is like, it's a footnote in most of the books. And it was one of the worst massacres in South African history. Now is that just a footnote? Let's go delve a bit more deeper into that. Very excited to read this. And get like fill in some more blanks in the picture that was Jan Smith. Not that you will ever be able to fill in everything. A guy that lived a life like this, you will never know all the stuff about him. But yeah, I am excited for that a lot. Let me see, yeah. Only just one more South African one, so just keep in there. This one is Tracking On by the Nice Rights. Also an old school one. This is a follow-up in some way. It's a follow-up. He wrote a book called Commando that I'm going to reread this year again before this one. I have read it kind of. I listened to it on audio, which counts as reading, but it's not fully the same as audio. But I'm not, please, I'd rather have you listening on audio than not at all. It's close enough. We'll give you a star. We'll not give you 2 stars, but we'll give you 1 golden star. Yeah. 1 golden star for our great one that was able to color within the lines. That is doing an audiobook. Shows you're able to color within the lines. I don't mind. Okay, never mind. Let me stop hitting you. Commando is a great book, and I'm gonna read that. I'm gonna read that again. I did get a copy of it. Commando takes place. It's his experiences during the Anglo-Boer War. Tracking On is the experiences after that, and then it delves with, I believe it delves with his time in Madagascar. And then when he returns to South Africa and the 1914 rebellion during the First World War that happens in South Africa, and then what he did in the First World War. I know he did eventually go into Europe, and he was on the Western Front, and he even led like charges in there. So yeah, I am really excited to read this. Dinesh is one of those. He's one of those weird people in history. Like Winston Churchill was also there. Like they just seem to go into the worst places in the world, and everybody dies around them, but they come out mostly unscathed, right? Which is they are like there. You find those rare, strange people that just have those lives that they somehow survive things they should definitely not have. Okay, we finished the South African segments of this non-fiction row. I hope you survived. And now let's get to the little bit nicer, little bit more tasteful. What do you call it? Non-fiction. Okay, now this I'm definitely stretching non-fiction here with this first one, but I'm gonna go for it. The Life of Saint Anthony, and this was written by Saint Athanasius of Alexandria, translated by H. Elishal. I actually once read like 90% of this for a paper I had to do back in the day in uni, in my first go around in uni that was not a success. Let's not talk about that when I was still young. And I basically read, like, it's very short, although the pages here are very dense, if you can see it. Right? Do this, get in shadow, use the shadow. So there's a lot on every page, but it's relatively short. I read like 90% of it like in a day back in the day to do, because of course I only started the day before I had to hand in my assignment to do it. Now, this St. Anthony was like a preacher guy. He was a preacher guy that went and lived in the desert, and then he had followers that followed him to the desert. But it's like the stuff that happens in here are crazy. It's like it feels like stuff out of the Lord of the Rings. Or some crazy fantasy Conan the Barbarian stuff. He's like being confronted by the devil and by demons and stuff like that. So you're like, I think you were on hallucinogenics, man. I think some of the mushrooms you were eating were probably not. But back in the day, they took this as like no, and they wrote it, and St. Athanasius wrote this like this is actually how it happened. They believed in that stuff back then. And I'm not even going to say, it might even be true. It might even all be true. I mean, the world is so crazy. There are weird stuff in this world. I'm not going to tell you what exists and what don't exist. I've realized, like, it's pointless to try and convince somebody. Keep an open mind. Something might exist that you don't realize. But I mean, I will say it stretches credulity a lot. He was also a fascinating guy. He was like against eating and against eating in public. He felt ashamed by it, but he still had to do it to stay alive. He also got buried. I will talk about it more when I read. But nobody knows where he's buried. They had like 3 guys go bury him, and they kept it secret because they didn't want people to come to his like gravesite and worship him. Because no, if nothing at all, he seemed to have had legitimate belief in God, and not for his own benefits and like glory, as some of those other guys from that era like him. I'm a little suspicious. Looking at you, Constantine. Constantine the First. I'm looking at you. Yeah, see, I'm engaging with the dead people now. Isn't that nice? I'm the most inclusive person you're ever gonna meet. Who else includes the dead? Tell me another booktuber that includes the dead. I don't know. Next. Okay. Let me put this one at the bottom. I think that one should go last. So the next 3 are all kind of about 3 different storytellers. One is 2 are about the storyteller. One is about the craft of this storyteller, and it was like while still alive this was written. So yeah, it's not complete. It's only his early work. Another one's written by one of the storytellers, like about the other versions in that medium of storytelling and his experiences with it. And then the last one is it's a biography of one of my favorites. They all three are some of my favorite storytellers of all time, and that's why I have them here. The first one's a filmmaker. Stanley Kubrick directs. And I believe this one goes low. Let me check. Yeah. Thick boy. This one goes until, the last one is still Clockwork Orange. This is back in the day when I did it. So this was also when Kubrick was just for the first time really, really being like, and this is more about the craft and the style and less about the man or anything. But I'm fascinated. He's definitely one of my favorite directors of all time, if not my favorite director of all time. I've watched all of these, except maybe there's one or two of the very early stuff I haven't watched. But I've watched like The Killing, and I haven't watched Dances. What's it, Dancer's Kiss or something like that. But I've watched The Killing. I've watched Paths of Glory, and they don't even have The Killing in here or Spartacus. I understand why Spartacus is not in here, but I feel like The Killing should have been in here. Surely. But never mind. I'm excited, really excited to read this and go into that. I've done a little bit of Kubrick stuff in the past, finding out some new stuff, and reminded of some stuff. I am excited, and it's interesting to read something that still was contemporary with the person living and seeing what they were writing about the craft and stuff back then. Very excited for this. I mean, if you're curious about, if you want to see unique storytelling, there's really, in cinema you get very few that did it more in a unique way than Kubrick did. It was truly something, and he was that guy. The first time you watch a movie of his, it's usually like, huh? And then you can't get out of it. And then the next time you watch it, like, whoa! And it just stays with you, and it just gets better and better with time. And that's amazing. How the hell do you do it? So, this is written by a filmmaker still working there, one of my favorites, Quentin Tarantino's Cinema Speculation. Now, I believe this is mostly about like movies he saw when he was young, or his first introduction, and then how he felt about those ones. Let's get it. Oh, nice. Let's do it like with a shadow. I'm excited to read this. I mean, Tarantino is one of the best screenplay writers ever, and a great director. So reading his thoughts and stuff, he's even entertaining on podcasts. Just talking, he's always entertaining and very nerdy. Damn, I'm nerdy. Quentin is definitely nerdier than me, and that's saying something. That really is saying something. Anime, that's me. Weird, obscure cinema, that's also me. Art house cinema, that's me. Books of everything. I mean, I read Ulysses. Just finished it in February. Like, that's to say he's nerdier than me. Saying a lot. I'm looking at you, Quentin. I'm looking at you. Okay, the last one, and this is actually finally this is actually by a novelist. This is a biography of a novelist. One of my favorite novelists of all time. Who wrote my favorite love story of all time. Jane Austen, a biography. Apparently this is really good. I'm excited to read about this. Yeah, I think this is the one that the Becoming Jane was. Is that a lady? Let's do the black. I like it. This light's a bit aggressive today, but I'm gonna leave it in. I'm experimenting with it. Okay, I'm having fun. Calm down. Yeah, no, I mean Jane Austen, Sense and Sensibility, Mansfield Park, and of course Pride and Prejudice. And then the other ones, Persuasion. Persuasion is the one I really need to reread. I remember that the least. I loved Emma, or the thing they did for Emma. Most of them I've only listened to on audio tapes and watched film meditations. I've only read Pride and Prejudice, like actually read. So I want to get into all the other ones. Really excited for Mansfield Park eventually. But I'm excited to read this and learn more about it, because just the writing, and it was like not this day in a life, but like slice of life type of thing, but not slice of life even, but it takes persons and go with it. It's not necessarily the most dramatic subjects, but the way she just engaged you with it and made you feel for these people and live with them. There was this scene also that stays with me from Sense and Sensibility, where the one sister is like really sick and they think she's gonna die. I remember listening to it and how engrossed I was in like just the prose she was using and everything, and how she pulled you in. And then you realize how back in those days, a sickness that was like nothing serious today was still like it was good, was life threatening. Really excited to learn more about the legend Jane Austen. Definitely one of my top 10 writers of all time, or novelists of all time. Yeah, I hope you're happy. We are finally done with the vegetables. And if you made it all the way through, congratulations! I'm proud of you. I'm proud of me too. I've talked a lot. Man. Okay, so Mundane Fiction! Mundane Fiction, aren't you excited? I'm excited. We're getting to the meat now. We're getting to the meat, the juicy meat. The main course, the entree. Is that the entree? Is the entree I'm not sure. See, in English, one second. I think it's the entree. I think the main course like the entree, right? It's not the thing that comes before. Now I've forgotten the name for it. And I'm not even gonna try and remember what the name for the first plate is. Nobody cares. And then the classics will be the last part. That will be our dessert. Will be the classic. Because who doesn't want to know what classics I'm gonna read? All everybody. Well, how many do I have here? I have 5 mundane fictions. I won't read more, but that I will set in stone for this year. And the first one on the mundane fictions. So let me see. This is a Stephen King book, right? Let's start. We're starting out with King. King is definitely one of my favorite writers. I've read a decent amount by him, but I can't say I'm that well read in because he just has so many novels. There's I've read the big ones. Of course, I've read The Dark Tower. What have I read? The Dark Half. It, which I don't have a copy of at the moment. I really need to get that. Misery. Oh, Misery is so good. On Writing, few others sell. After once, but I haven't even read half of his stuff. So there's still a lot I want to get into, and I'm hoping to read more than one this year. But of the ones I haven't read, this is the one I'm the most excited to read, or that has the highest reputation of him. The ones, maybe there are a few outside I don't actually own yet that might, but this one I'm really excited for. Pet Cemetery, Stephen King's Pet Cemetery. Oh, nice! Look at it, little scary cat. Scared cat. I mean, King is one of those few writers that really can horror that can really at times scare you. Damn, I read it when I was 16. Scared the shit out of me. That was so crazy. And I'm really excited to get into more Stephen King. Maybe I'll wait till maybe if things go bad, I'm gonna wait. I was kind of thinking doing it in October, but there's another one I think is King I can read. Definitely reading one King book in October. But maybe I should get to this one earlier and then I can read Revival or something like that. But yeah, this is the one I'll definitely set in stone. I'm excited. Apparently, this is the most emotional one of him and the most heartbreaking one of him. Yeah, no, I mean, Stephen King. What more do you need? I'm really excited. Next, the last book that has already been released from my favorite author of all time that I haven't read, and this book. This River Awakens by Steven Erikson. Let me put it like that. Go to the shadows. Go to the dark side. You know, this is why we should go to the dark side. Because you can see shit. In the light, look at the light side. And if things are reflective, you can't see clearly. In the dark side, you see everything. That's why all conspiracy theories are on the dark side. Because you can see everything on the dark side. Driver's license. Oh man, driver's licenses. Tell me if you know which book this comes from. Driver's licenses are a government conspiracy. I was paraphrasing there. Funny. By the way, this was not even published under the name Steven Erikson the first time. It was published under his actual surname Stephen London. Let's make it Stephen London. Let's say his name was actually Stephen London. Yeah, that's his real name. He's not Steven Erikson. He is Stephen London. It's definitely not how I say it, but I'm having fun with it. Stephen London. This book was so impossible to get. So impossible to get. Let me sound like a TikToker. This was so impossible to get. I mean, my word, or what's the thing like in... I could not with this book, whatever. Even look where I found it. Look, read it. Toronto Public Library. My sister had to order it through like second-hand stuff, like it's the Dolly Parton thing in America to get me this. So it still has the stamp, so it came from Toronto Library. I'm sure it wasn't stolen. I'm sure they just sold it because it was old stock and they can't have everything there. I was so glad to actually. So this is the one I haven't read, and it was the hardest to get secondhand. I'm excited. Then I've read everything by Steven Erikson that has been released. Now I believe there's likely 2 books coming out from Mr. Erikson this year. One like I believe sci-fi through Subterranean Press, and then the follow-up to No Life Forsaken in the Witness trilogy. Legacies of Betrayal, I believe the name is at the moment. See, that's it. I'm curious because this seems like coming of age. I mean, and Stephen King is a master at coming of age. I want to see what Erickson did with this. This was published before Gardens of the Moon, but it was written after Gardens of the Moon, if I am right. And I mean, if he was able to write Gardens of the Moon already and then write this, I'm very curious to see what it is. It's not a very well-known book, but yeah, I'm excited for it. So I also want to make a video about all the not Malazan works of Steven Erikson and why you should read it and look into it and stuff. So I think this is a flaw many of us have with the epic fantasy writers, and when they've written a long big series, then that's the only thing we want to read about it. We don't want to go to any of the other stuff, no matter how good it is. Anything we're like, no, we're just reading this from you because this is what we like from you. Even if we don't even want to try the other stuff. I think it's bad, and I've read I am so excited to read this, and then I can talk about this. What's the other one? What's the other ones? Rejoice, the Devil Delivered, that short stories, and the Wolful Child series. Really excited about those. I don't think they've released Off the Apes release date has been set yet, but if I can get that, so I think I'll push this for later in the year. So when I can get that and also read it and then do a video about them all. My next set in stone one, I read a short story collection by this author last year for the first time. I had randomly picked up the book. I got it for free. Thought, let's just try it, right? And it blew me away. It's like, you are one of my favorite authors just from this short story collection. I need to read more of his stuff. And I started looking for novels. His novels were nowhere available except secondhand. So I got 3 of them. And I want to read, this is the first novel he ever published. And I want to start with that and then go through his stuff. See where it went. And if it was this good at the beginning already. Or if it started okay and crap and then got good. But yeah, I'm so excited for this. This is Stuart Kluter, Turning Wheels. Actually a great cover. I love this cover. This is a much better version of the cover than the one that's on Goodreads. The one on Goodreads is crap. This is beautiful. This is about the Groot Trek, the Great Trek. It was Dutch, the South African colonists, I guess you can call them colonists, in the Cape that were from Dutch heritage and stuff that called themselves the Afrikaners. When they were, or the Boere is our name they usually, especially at that era, was called. Boer just means farmer, by the way. Stuart Kluter, I loved in the soldier speeches and our stories so much. So this is about the Groot Trek. That's basically when the Afrikaners, and they called them the Voortrekkers then because they were the first one, left the Cape Colony because they were under British rule. They were not happy under British rule. And they just went into the interior of South Africa and Africa, really. The Southern Africa, to be true. There was no South Africa then. Into Southern Africa to find a new place to stay. And of course, they met people along the way, and things got rough. I am really excited to read about this. Stuart Kluter, what I really like, he captured the people of that time, and the South African people of that time, so perfectly from what you read about them, and so realistically, and as well, he didn't shy away from the bad they were doing, and the crazy ideas they had. Very religious people as well. Very religious and very racist. That was very religious, very racist. Those were both very true of the group of people. I don't even think they would deny it. And these are this is my ancestors, right? It's true. It's true. I'm excited to see what Stuart Kluter. He is South African and he's not South African. I'm going to count him as South African author. He spent a lot of his life in South Africa, and most of his books deal with South Africa. He was born in France to a South African dad and a Scottish mom. So we were stretching him. But he's one of those people who have a crazy life. He went through World War. He survived World War One. He was a soldier in World War One. Then he became a farmer in South Africa, and then he decided. Now he wanted to become a novelist. The soldier speeches were so good, so I'm wondering why his stuff is kind of out of print, and I want to see how the other stuff are, and if this guy should really make a comeback. So I feel like if I read the soldier speeches, I would tell anybody to read that. That was amazing. And by his own admission, that was not his best work. It was short stories apparently to him was you go for the center, you have to get the broadest audience. So you can't go and write that masterpiece of yours because you have to, in a short story, try and get the highest audience because it's going to show up in some magazine that's just trying to get as many people to look at it as can. And diverse groups of people looking at it. So if the Soldier Speeches was that good, and in his opinion it was not his best work, I cannot wait to get into his stuff he could do. Next, moving on. From the other side of the world, compared to Turning Wheels, we have Pachinko. What? Pachinko. I'm going to say from Min-Jin Lee. I'm pretty confident in my pronunciation. That I'm going to be honest. The first time I saw this book was on Goodreads, and the first time I just saw the cover, this cover, and something told me, and I put it, and something told me, oh, are you going to like this book? So I checked out what it's about, read like the synopsis, whatever that blurb thing they give there, say what the book's about, and then I put it on my what do you call it? Oh, I'm gonna die. This coffee was too good. What do you call it? I put it on my TBR and then I found it in the bookstore. I bought it. I'm really excited for this. It sounds fascinating. It's a multi-generational drama of taking place in Korea. I believe it takes place, maybe some of it's in Japan, but I believe most of it takes place in Korea, but during the Japanese occupation of Korea. I think they do go to Japan. It's part of the place off in Japan as well. But it's I believe it's multi-generational. It's gotten so much praise from a weird, diverse group of people. And I've not seen anybody read it say, nah, it wasn't for me. Everybody seems to have loved this. I'm really excited. Getting my historical fiction in there. And then the last one, book. Yeah, let's get into it. Okay. So I was a fan of Game of Thrones. I'm reading A Song of Ice and Fire right now. Really enjoyed the first book. We'll get into the second book soon. And on all of them, I'm going to read all the George R. R. Martin Westeros related series this year. Now, one of the big inspirations for A Song of Ice and Fire was The War of the Roses. So when I saw this historical fiction that took place in the War of Roses, and I found it at like what do you call it? Almost like a backyard sale type thing, yard sale for 10 Rand, which is that's like 10 cents in America or something. It's 50 cents. I think it's 50 cents in America. A second-hand one. Sharon Penham, The Sun in Splendor, which deals with Richard III, and it changed. Richard III was generally villainized in history, but this apparently was really well researched, and it takes a very different approach where and he's not that villainized in this. This is a big boy. Look at this one. So it is like I don't know if it's. I don't know enough about the War of the Roses. Is Richard III completely part of it all the time, or is he part of the end of it? I'm not sure. I'm excited for this type of era. I also, I didn't put in Sarah Stone, but I want to read Richard III, which is the one that villainizes him the most. Shakespeare's played Richard III after I've read this. But I thought, this would be a good compendium to go with my year for A Song of Ice and Fire. It's such a big book, and it's not even. The writing's like also small, and there's a lot of words on the pages. So yeah, this is gonna be one to get. So, but I mean, hopefully they're right. I've seen it. It's like it's got really good reviews on Goodreads. So people that bought it seem to really like this. Although I'd never heard of it before when I picked it up, but it seemed to be popular enough. Yeah, really excited. Yeah. So, that is my mundane fictions. What a joy. What a joy. I'm gonna have a great year. Oh, Citizen, you see why I don't need your help? Because I've got this. I'm crushing it. And now that the entree is done, let us get into the dessert. Yeah, so finally, you're happy. Now you get your ice cream. The exciting stuff, like, the classics. But I'm gonna start with like one of those puddings you don't like that much. Nutmeg, is that one? Like, because one of the things I was adamant about doing on my channel to make it a little bit different is I want to have a focus on South African literature and at least try and read one South African fiction or fiction, fantasy, classic a month, right? Now, with the fantasy, the one I set in stone was Legacies of Obsidian. Stuart Clutter, I'm going to count as the one year I put on for definitely amongst the mundane fiction. And then, but take a South African classic. I want to take this one, and they forced us to read it in school. So I've read, but we didn't finish it. I read most of this, but I really wanted to try it again. There was really stuff. It's being forced to read stuff in school doesn't work, right? It doesn't give you a good idea. But then later on, you're like, the stuff I remember I like, so I want to go into it. This is a South African classic by Daleen Mathieu, Kringe in die Bos. It's a South African classic and Afrikaans classic. This work is translated in English called Circles in the Forest. No, it is a very popular one in South Africa. Daleen Mathieu is one of those writers. She is a really good writer, but it's like you either like her or don't like her that much. I'm excited to go into this again. It's like you see the elephant. There's an elephant that plays a major role in this, and then Saul Barnard. I'm just excited. It's like people living a more rural, not backwards life, but not in a bad way. You know, it's like those people live away from society, and then how society is kind of forcing itself into their lives. Type of story. I'm really excited to this. This is one of the great South African classics. And from the stuff I remember, and I don't remember that much, but the stuff I remember, I really like. Can't wait to get into this. And then like fill my South African quota. So yeah. So I have to read like at least 12 this year, right? And one for each month. And I'm already behind because I didn't read one in January, but I did at least read one in February. Yeah, I did. Oh no, I'm lying. I'm actually reading that one still in March. And then Telling Wheels I'm going to try and get also into March. So just so I can get into some on there. But that's not what you're here for. You're here for the classics. The next classic, and now we're going to get, let's go 800 BCE. Going back in the day. Homer, the Iliad. With, I don't know, this is the Collins. I don't know. People are like, which translation? I don't know which translation I have. I don't know. This is the Collins Classics. I don't know who translated it and stuff. It looks big, yeah, because they still have it like instead of using it, they still have it like there with a small font and stuff like so. So you're gonna fly through it, even though it's a big boy. Really excited to read this. I'll be honest, one of the reasons I'm picking it up, Steven Erikson was, especially, I think it was especially with the Carkins release, but probably he talked about this also being a big influence on him and his writing and just I think like that big epic idea and mythology stuff. I'm excited to get into this. Maybe I should have put this. I should have put this under nonfiction, right? This is nonfiction. I should have put it on nonfiction. Now I'm really excited to get into the Iliad, the Odyssey. This is going to sound strange. I think I want to watch the movie first, the Christopher Nolan adaptation first, because I think it's going to be different enough that you can read the book after the thing. But I do, for some reason, I don't want it kind of this story to kind of. So although I mean, the Odyssey is also one of those stories we all kind of know it, right? We've seen it in animation and stuff. So now it's up to. But I think I actually do want to see the movie first before I read the Odyssey. We'll see. But the Iliad, set in stone, and you can't stop me. Next, this is one I read most before, but I didn't finish it. Victor Hugo, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Yeah, I mean, Victor Hugo is the more famous one is Les Miserables, but I'm leaving Les Miserables now because Les Miserables is big. This one is shorter. Hunchback of Notre Dame is at least a bit shorter. But one of the things that was like really hard to read, why this was really hard to read, especially when I was still at school when I read it. My brother got it from the university library and brought it for me on holiday, and I had to send it back with him, and I didn't finish it. I got like, I think I'm more than halfway through, but this thing is like half the fiction narrative, and the other half is like a non-fiction description of life and constructions in Paris. This is like it's the The Hunchback of Notre Dame is the other name. I believe the original is Notre Dame de Paris, or like Notre Dame of Paris. I think that would be a translation. It really is like more a love letter to Paris than the story that takes place. But the stuff in the story are so compared to the story you know from the animation that it is so wild and hard and rough. Oh, your stuff in this time period, yeah. The rights, yeah, they had no children. Victor Hugo had no children. I think Victor Hugo died of like STDs, having too much fun with the ladies. I think he literally died from having too much fun. If you know what I mean. But, yeah. Never mind that. I don't even know if that's true. I think I saw that on a YouTube video, and so it could be completely. I'm really excited, but I remember loving it, and I did read the abridged version later on, and I enjoyed it. But there was stuff in the abridged. There was like scenes that I remember from this that I really loved. That was not in the abridged version, where they get into stuff like the Philosopher's Stone and crazy stuff. And I wanted that again because it's just and I really did love it, even though there are parts where they just keep going on about how these buildings look in this part of the. It gets a lot. It's very descriptive. You can see how much he loves talking about Paris now. I feel like he was trying to write both a non-fiction and a fiction in that one book. I think that's how he kind of did it. It's great. You do you, Victor. You do you. I'm not a hater. I don't hate it. I actually was enjoying it, and I'm going to read it again. And I'm going to finish it. The next one. This one I also picked up because Steven Erikson, listen, he's my favorite writer. I'm allowed to listen to stuff he's saying. He apparently was raving about the descriptions for stuff in this book, how it was. This is John Steinbeck, Canary Row. Really excited for this one. And it's so short. It's going to be fun. Quick. I think I'll read this soon. I've never read a Steinbeck thing before, and maybe this will be my way in, and I love it so much. I'm going to get into East of Eden and what Of Mice and Men. It's Grapes of Wrath also. I think he's also Grapes of Wrath. Yeah, I don't know what more to say. I don't know a lot about it. Apparently, it's like takes place in like Los Angeles, it's like a boozer night or something like that. Give me a crazy drunk protagonist then. I mean, I'm sold. A half drunk crazy protagonist. Why not? That sounds fun to me. Let's do it, eh? I have 3 more. Now, if you've watched some of that stuff, or at least my book awards, you know how I feel about George Orwell as a writer, like stunning, and how I think Animal Farm is one of the greatest achievements ever put to pen. Like, and probably I feel it's also the most useful book ever, fiction book ever written, that you can actually hand to somebody and say, "Oh, you want to understand the world? Read Animal Farm." And you can read it as a child later on. You can get it. And you can just say, "Oh, yeah, I know. Okay, so this is how the world really is." Okay. And that's the only book I've ever read about Orwell, even though I love that Animal Farm so much. So I felt now I have to get into more George Orwell. And well, the obvious one to get into is the one he's even more famous for than Animal Farm. That is 1984. No, and it's written out 1984. It's not 1984. No, it's 1984 written out. I don't like this cover. That weird looking Big Brother eye. I'm excited, but this is probably not going to be a happy story, right? Let's assume it. But Orwell's writing was really good in Animal Farm, so I want to see if it's similar, or did he change his writing for the more grown-up stuff? Or what's going? I am really excited for this. I'm excited for this, but I also know it's probably going to be a bit depressing. It's George Orwell. I should have probably go with The Clergyman's Daughter first, right? I should have put that one instead, not 1984. I'm putting 1984. I have to read it this year. Excited to get into more Orwell, and then it could lead us to Catalonia. And there's a bunch of other stuff that is not that famous and that I really want to try from him. But let's start with 1984 and see if it is the superior one too, and more useful even than Animal Farm, which I mean. It's in my top 5. Animal Farm is that good. It's in my top 5. Not even in my top 10. Okay, another shorter classic that I'm excited to, and probably also a little depressing. Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. Heart of Darkness, the light. Is the white killing me? Not too bad. That's what. I mean, it's also legendary. Apocalypse Now is loosely based on it. I want to read it. It sounds crazy and awesome, and people love it. And I enjoy what they. I like other booktubers that I really like their content and what they read, and it seems like we have correlations. Really love this. So yeah, I'm excited for Lots of Darkness. Not going into the deep, dark African jungle. I mean, they definitely are. Listen, I'm from Africa. There are jungles that are deep and dark. Because if you get deep into a jungle, it kind of gets dark if it's freaking stuff. It doesn't refer to the people, it refers to the jungle. It's kind of fun, scary. It's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. It's not like the veld. The veld's open and you could see for miles, and the veld's kind of nice. You get into those jungle areas. Hey, woo! Exciting. I am really excited for this. Just Conrad, let's do it. Let's do it, right? One more. I have one more classic. The last, like the cherry on top. Is this the one I'm most excited for? I think it is. I think this is the classic I'm most excited for. And that's because, and let me give it away before I show it to you. Probably my second favorite book of all time at this point was The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. And I was like, I really need to read more Dumas. Even if the other work is only half as good as The Count of Monte Cristo, I want to read it. So yeah, did I pick up, the other one is most famously known for, yes, of course. It is The Three Musketeers. The Three Musketeers. Look at those guys. Look at those guys. What a weird way people shave their beards and dressed back in that day. Let's not throw too much shade on them. Bunch of Frenchies. Let's not blame. I mean, The Count of Monte Cristo was so great. I had to pick this up. And who doesn't love the millions of adaptations of Three Musketeers? The D'Artagnan one. They called it Brachnian in Afrikaans. D'Artagnan. Oh, that was awesome. Love this kid. So excited for this. And I mean, Dumas' writing is just something. It's so funny and whimsical and like, but still gut punchy. Gut punchy. That's a word. Gut punchy. Gut punchy. It sounds like I'm making up a new weird word. Gut punchy. It's from like a weird name, like of a fantasy character. The wizard Gut Punchy. We're going to see the wizard Gut Punchy. Gut Punchy. Boom. Why am I getting violent to myself? I'm excited for this. This is I really want to get into more of Dumas. I even got got them for kind of cheap prices. The other one, this one I paid for price. But like 20 years later, and The Band Iron Mask, both sequels to Three Musketeers, I also got. So I mean, Dumas. I want to get into it. It's the light going. I'm probably clouds. The whole video looks so nice up to this, and now the clouds want to come in and make it look different. But I am excited. I am very excited for The Three Musketeers, the last of my classics I'm gonna read this year. So that's it. So that is it. That is everything that's set in stone. So let's round it up. If you take the fantasies I put set in stone last week, that's 17. There's now a bunch of non-fictions here, a bunch of mundane fictions, and a bunch of classics. It comes up to a complete 36 that are set in stone for this year. I mean, I'm going to be reading other stuff in between that I still need to read, right? So I can't just be reading these. So, but that's the challenge. I need to get my 36 set in stone. And I put it down last week. If I don't get it, then you can punish me. And you said, and you can go see what the punishment is. I'll put a short video on explaining it as well. So you don't have to watch the whole episode if you forgot, or if you don't want to watch the whole episode. Which, why not? Just watch the whole episode. But I'll put out shorts as well, so you can watch that. And then, but then if I do it, I want my reward. I know you're not going to give it to me. I know you're not, but I still want it. I want to hold it over your heads then. Because I know you're going to disappoint me and not give it to me when I do it. When I crush it, when I read all 36 of these, while still reading other stuff in between. And I know there's a bunch of you that don't believe. You saw the Sun in Splendor, you saw how fake it was, you said, this guy's not. He's not finishing off this. I'm going to finish them all and other stuff in between. And then I want my award. And hey, and if I miss even one, if even one of them I've only finished like halfway through, and I have to do by the end, I will take it 31 December by the end, by midnight. And I'm an honest guy. I won't lie to you about this. I'm an honest guy. Look at me. Don't you trust this face? Do you not trust this face? This does not look like the face of an honest person. Well, I know technically honest people don't wear sunglasses, but I mean, it's a look. It's a look I'm going for here, right? I don't want you to look in my eyes the whole time. Let's do this. Do I now look like an honest person? I think this makes this makes it worse. Now I look even less honest. Let's go back. Let's go back. I'm an honest person. I'll be honest about it. Then you can punish me. You can vote for a book you think I have to read, the worst book in existence that you can think of, and then you poll it and say that's just the worst one. I'll read an L. Ron Hubbard book. You can force me to read an L. Ron Hubbard book. If that's my punishment, if that's what you want, whatever. But I mean, that's it for this week. Yeah, the caffeine's run out now. Can you hear it? The excitement at the beginning of this video, and now I'm drained. I'm done. Let me even finish the last bit of my water. No, I am over it. So I have to go. And guys, look at the effort I'm doing for you guys. Do you really appreciate it? If you appreciate it, like it, subscribe. If you don't appreciate it, still do those things. Still like and subscribe and play the video. Let me go get some rest, right? Let me go. Let me not rant too much. I feel like I did a lot of ranting in the beginning, and then I had my talking, so I don't want to rant now too much. Let's finish this. Let's just go. There's nothing more. I don't have anything more to say this week. Although I think some of you might be like, wait a minute, weren't you supposed to do the wrap up this week? Isn't February so? You should be doing. Listen, okay, calm down. I'm taping this on the 2nd of March. Right? You'll see it on the weekend. I'm taping this on the 2nd of March. I just finished on Saturday, on the 28th. I finished Ulysses. Okay, I need some space before I talk about Ulysses again. That thing killed me. Oh well. So now the wrap up and the TBR for March will come next week. Yeah. For now, you can just be happy that I did one of these, and I set in stone my set in stones. Yes, that sentence made sense. I'm not gonna redo that. It made sense to me. If it didn't make sense to you, well, go read Ulysses. Nothing that's gonna make sense to you in any case. So don't worry. But that's it. I am the anonymous librarian. You can call me Al. You don't need to call me, but you can call me. Let's have a little jiggy. Let's do a little. The Batista. Yeah. Now the awkward reaching to stop the video. Looks so weird, right? Oh, let's check this out. We're testing it. I feel like today it's kind of good. Is it good? See how the books are good. This looks pretty damn good, guys.